everyone, it's Miranda. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, for the first time, subscribe, become the newest member of the Slashed Squad. Here I review products you won't feel guilty buying and do looks you can actually recreate at home. So being the budget beauty enthusiast that I am, I love jumping on new trends and products and brands that will let me keep up with the latest trends on a budget. So I've been seeing a lot of YouTube videos around here talking about shopmissa.com. This is basically like an online dollar store that has a bunch of beauty. They also have like accessories and fashion and stuff like that. But mostly I was very curious about their makeup. They have a ton of makeup products that are only $1. So like I said, I've been watching different like hauls and review videos, and there are definitely mixed opinions depending on the products that people are buying. But I needed to try it out for myself to determine, is this like the new holy grail site where I can get some go-tos for as cheap as $1? So they reached out and offered to send me some products, but this is not sponsored in any way. They did not pay me. This is all gonna be my real opinions and in real time because this is the first time that I'm using any of these products. I picked out enough to do a full face of makeup, so that's what we're gonna do today, a full face of makeup using $1 makeup from shopmissa.com. We'll see how it works. I'm going to give you my first impressions, but we're also gonna do a wear test throughout the day to see how it holds up. So without further ado, let's just get into it. So for this makeup test, I am gonna also be using tools that are on shopmissa.com. They are both from the house brand AOA. That's their own like brand that they sell. So I have their faux mink brush collection, which comes in like a roll-up fake leather case. They are completely vegan and cruelty-free. Now I will say the faux leather case smells very plasticky, and I'm hoping that diminishes just because I just unpacked it, but the brushes were individually wrapped in plastic, so those didn't have any smell on them. They do seem like they're very soft, synthetic bristles, so hopefully they do a great job. And the other tool I'm gonna be using from the site is the AOA blending sponge. Now I'm already impressed with just how this feels. It's very fluffy and cloudy, and it grew a lot when I ran it underwater to dampen it. So hopefully this works out too, because if I can get like a decent sponge for $1, like, hello. Okay, so let's start on makeup. The first product I'm gonna be using is the AOA Studio Wonder Skin Perfecting Blur Primer. So this is what the primer looks like. And now I'm not sure if you can see very well inside the clear part of the packaging, but it does look pretty silicone-y, kind of like a silicone gel, but I'm also seeing glitter inside, which I did not know about when I picked it out. So we'll see how this works. Wow, there's like a lot of glitter in this. Let me see if I can get you to look. I'm not sure if you can see the glitter in this, but there's actually like a lot of noticeable particles here. So I'm gonna try to keep it kind of conservative because I don't want a bunch of glitter on my face. It definitely has a gel feel, not so much silicone like I actually expected it to from the consistency. So there's no glitter left on my hands, but looking in the mirror, I can definitely point out glitter particles that are now on my face. So not sure how I feel about that one because it's not even just shimmer, which some primers tend to have, like illuminating primers. It's like actual like glitter, so All right, but let's see if the foundation can cover it up. So I'm using the Santee Flawless Perfect Finish Foundation. This is a smooth, natural drop liquid. It looked a lot like the NYX Total Coverage drops, so I'm interested to see how this works. Now, if you want to see a dupe comparison of the two, let me know in the comments because I actually have the NYX one on its way to me in the mail, so that might be fun to see like the dollar version. So this is what I'm going to be using with the sponge. I'm gonna go ahead and I guess dot it on my face. I never really understood this like dropper contraption. I'm just gonna go ahead and like swipe a little bit around. Now I'm gonna blend with the sponge. So I'm gonna put down in the description what the shade I picked out was because it's actually like a perfect match for my skin, which is surprising because I had to pick it out online, so that like never happens. So we're getting pretty decent coverage here. I actually have pretty clear skin in comparison to how sometimes my skin looks, but I do tend to get like, I have discoloration here. You can kind of see it poking through just a tad. Just like acne scarring. Now as this foundation sets, it does actually look like it's oxidizing a tad darker but it's not super dramatic. Like I have some foundations that oxidize, but this is not oxidizing too much. So as long as I blend it into my neck, it still looks very natural. Now the consistency of the foundation, if you can see it on the dropper, is actually pretty creamy, a little bit on the thicker side, but it blends out to not feel that heavy. So I'm just putting a little bit more where I need the extra coverage to determine, is this buildable? And yeah, I'm actually really digging this sponge. It's doing a great job blending. The only thing is, because it's such a light color, it's clearly staining really easily. It's just a very nice turn of events, because after my Dollar Tree Dollar Store Makeup Challenge video, I was very nervous about this, because some brands they sell are brands that I've seen at the dollar store, so I was like, oh, I don't know about this, but this is turning out okay. Okay, so as far as the coverage, I would say it caps out at medium, because even when I went back in with more like right here, I still feel like I can see a little bit of discoloration there, as well as on this side too. I have like symmetrical acne scarring on my cheeks. But okay, why don't we just move right along? Okay, so next we are moving on to brows. So I'm using, again, the AOA brand, which is their own brand, the Sculpting Brow Pencil. So this has a spoolie on one end and then kind of a slanted crayon on the other. All right, so I've got the pencil here. Let's see how it works. I'm gonna brush through my brows first though. I get really scared using brow stuff for the first time because you never know how like strong it's gonna come out. Okay, this is looking pretty decent so far. And the color looks really natural. It's actually a pretty good match for me. Again, I'll have all the shades that I'm using down in the description below in case you're curious. Okay, so I think this brow actually looks pretty good. I'm not mad at it at all. And I feel like this is actually a very easy pencil to work with, because you're not getting a formula that's too creamy where you lose a little control with how much it deposits. It's definitely buildable, so you have that freedom to kind of customize your brow look. All right, let's move on to the eyes. Okay, so I'm using the AOA Studio Perfect Eyeshadow Primer, and it is kind of a very, very light cream shade. So let's just put that on. Now you guys know the eye primer I usually use is $1 anyway. It's the e.l.f. one. And that one actually just works so well for $1. It's pretty crazy. This one feels similar. It blends out very thin and evenly. It actually does kind of feel a little tacky though, which the e.l.f. one dries down pretty dry. Now I like that it definitely gives you a little bit of coverage in terms of the color, but it's not like whiting out your lid. So for eyeshadow, I picked out this palette. It is from the brand Amuse, and it's called Blushing Nudes Eyeshadow Palette. And as you can see, it's mostly neutral shades, but we do have that hint of rosiness or pink shades. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of create a look here. I didn't even think this through. So I'm gonna take the faux mink brush set here and see what we're working with. So the first brush I'm taking out is called the 137. It's kind of just like an all over lid brush. And I'm going to be placing this first color here, kind of the off-white cream shade, all over the lid as a base shade. Oh, the brush feels nice. I was a little worried. It's actually pretty dense, to be honest. So this is gonna help further dry down that primer, especially because it did have a more sticky finish. This will help us blend. Next, I'm taking the 135. This is a blending brush. And I'm going to use this kind of mauve-y shade as our transition. The thing about using new products and new tools at the same time is that I feel like the tools can really make or break a product. You know, if your brush is garbage, then you might think the product's garbage, but you really just need a new tool. But so far, both the shadow and the brush are doing an okay job. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take the 136 brush, which is kind of like a tapered point blending brush. I'm gonna go into the darkest color here because I wanna see how much pigment we're gonna get. So this is kind of like a very, very dark plum purple shade. And I'm just gonna pack this in the corner of my lid, the outer corner here. Okay, so we're getting decent pigmentation. I feel like you definitely have to pack on the color to get that strength that you would typically look for in like an outer corner shade, outer crease shade. And I'm just gonna pull that color a little bit into my crease and under my lower lash line. Now that I've kind of packed the color, I'm gonna dip into that same shade with the blending brush we just used, the 135. And I'm gonna use that to kind of diffuse it more so. So I'm kind of blending at the corners. So this shade didn't quite apply as dark as it really looks in the pan, but I will say that it blends really nicely. So you can see this is the dark purple shade that we applied, and it's kind of coming out a little lighter. I'm gonna go ahead and try to just darken up the very outer corner with the brown shade here. I'm just gonna literally kind of circle it in just the outer corner. And I feel like that's helping just add that dimension back. Okay, so you kind of definitely have to make your own shadow cocktail to get that deep crease color if you are kind of going for a glam look. However, I am surprised that even though I'm mixing these shades together, it's not looking muddy, it's not looking patchy, everything's blending together really seamlessly. So even though I kind of had to MacGyver to get a deeper color and that this one didn't quite match what I thought I was putting on, I'm not mad at it. So now I'm gonna use the smallest shadow brush. This is the 139, you can see there. I'm gonna go ahead and pack this kind of beigey pink onto the rest of the lid. So next we're gonna go for the liner. I'm a little nervous about this one because a lot of cheap dollar store liquid liner tends to be clumpy when I buy it like at actual dollar stores, so we'll see how this works. So this is the JK Color waterproof liner, so we'll see if it has those long-lasting properties. Pulling it out for the first time here, and it does have a brush applicator. It reminds me a lot of my NYX liquid liner, which is why I picked it up. I'm nervous. So far so good. This is actually kind of interesting because when I put it on, it feels like I'm putting on a gel liner. It has kind of like this creamy consistency. It goes on without tugging. It's drying down to be a very nice deep matte black. So far I like it. So I'm using my normal eyelash curler to get some lift here. Okay, so we're using another Muse product, same brand as the eyeshadow palette. This is the Pro Big Mega Lash Waterproof Mascara. So again, going for the waterproof aspect just to see if we can really get a long-lasting effect here. Now this looks like it's gonna be a fat wand. Yep, I was right. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with this. Now it's so easy to nick the top of your lid with a big brush like this, so you want to keep it a little bit further down. You don't want to come like all the way up here. This is like the first product that I'm not feeling, this mascara. The thing is like I have a good amount of lashes. They're just very short and stubby. So if a mascara really doesn't offer that length on top of the thickening, my lashes just end up looking more stubby. And that's kind of what I feel like I'm getting here, where I can see it definitely like coating my lashes, making them darker, kind of thickening them up a little bit, but I'm not seeing any length whatsoever. And I did nick my lid a little bit, but luckily once it dries, it's kind of easy to smudge off here. All right, so can't win them all. Let's move on back to the face now that we are done with the eyes. Okay, so let's move on and just finish this makeup look up. So this was like one of the more surprising buys, but this whole contour kit was $1. Now let me show you inside so you can be as amazed as I was. We have 6 colors here. We have contour shades and highlight shades and then kind of like a yellow setting powder for underneath the eye. And you get like this whole like tin palette with a full-size mirror and everything. I just think this was very surprising to get for $1. So I'm gonna go in to this middle shade, which seems like the only real suitable contour shade for myself. And I'm using the F25 brush from the Mink collection. I really like this shape for contouring. It's kind of like round, but with a pointed tip. You know what? I'm actually gonna mix these two here to get a little bit of a warmer shade. There we go. So the powders are powdery. They are having a lot of kickback, but also this brush is not as soft as the eye brushes. So having a little bit of trouble blending it. I can't tell if it's the brush or the contour though. The end result's not awful, but I feel like it's just a little bit harder to blend. I feel like it's a combination of the product and the brush though. You know, it's also kind of catching on the foundation, so that might have been an issue too. I might have had better luck had I powdered before I did this, because I feel like it looks darker in places that I reapplied that foundation for extra coverage. So that could absolutely be user error on that one. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of nose snatching. Yeah, I don't like how that looks, so maybe this wasn't so amazing for $1. Okay, hopefully this next product works a little better. This is from Amuse Cosmetics. It's their Matte Rose Blush. Now, I specifically picked this out because it reminded me a lot of the Milani Rose Blush, which is my favorite drugstore blush, as you guys know. I use it in a lot of my tutorials, and I really like this swipe out packaging here. All right, so let's just go ahead and blend this in. Now, this shade looks a little bit light for me. I'm a little worried. Oh no, it shows up. It's kind of a nice rosy shade. Kind of blending this a little bit into the contour too to see if I can salvage that. Is it scented? Oh, it's actually scented. It has a rose fragrance on it. And this brush feels a little softer than the contour brush that I used. And I feel like applying this over the contour is actually kind of helping blend it out. So maybe it was the brush. Okay, hey, I actually really like that blush. It looks very natural in my skin tone. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into the face highlight, which is the AOA Studio Wonder Baked Highlighter. Whoa, it just fell out. So this looks like it's gonna be kind of intense. I'm excited. Ooh. Now this I can get on board with. Oh my gosh, I really like this effect. Yeah, you can see that, right? Right? Is that a bam moment or what? Bam! Sorry, Emerald. I'm stealing your brand. So this is the F24 brush from the Mink collection. Not sure it's necessarily meant for highlighting, but it's doing a pretty good job. Down the nose. I like it because it's not overly shimmery, or it doesn't have like the particles of a shimmer, but you just get this like dramatic sheen that is really lovely. Okay, so that is definitely a win, the Wonder Baked Highlighter. Last but not least, we have lips, and this is again an AOA product. This is the Wonder Matte Liquid Lipstick in Blessed. Now looking at this color, it's a little bright, I feel, for the look that we created. But this is a full face tutorial, so we are gonna go for it. Okay, this is gonna be really bright. Oh, it's not really gonna match. I should have picked like a brown or something. Okay, well, here we go. Oh my gosh, this is such a bright color. It's kind of a weird consistency. It's like a thin but creamy, but the thing is it's drying really fast, so as I'm like trying to even it out, it's drying too fast. Yeah, I don't know about this lipstick, y'all. It's like really accentuating the dry spots on my lips. And like I said, it kind of dries down too fast. So I'm trying to even it out, and it's got like a translucency to it. So it kind of looks patchy. And then if I try to overdraw my lips, it's just a little obvious. Can you see that? I might take this off just because I feel like it compromises the look that I was actually kind of digging. I don't like it. I don't want to wear it all day, and I really like the rest of the look. So Give me a sec. Okay, so I just took the lipstick off and I'm gonna leave my lips bare for the wear test. Now, so far, like I said, we definitely have some winners and we have some things that I would skip next time. The mascara, not so much. The contour kit I'm a little bit on the fence about because when I went back in over it with blush and with a different brush, it seemed to blend out a little bit better, but with that contour brush, it was not working out. It was looking a little patchy and kind of catching on different areas of the foundation. So that could have also been just a myriad of things. Now, as I'm looking at myself just now, in the time that it took to do the rest of my face from where we were with the eyeliner is actually starting to like flake, and I've done nothing. I've been sitting here doing the rest of my makeup. While I was super impressed with it at first, and I was actually thinking to myself, oh my god, I found a new fave eyeliner for $1. Here's the thing, I'm just gonna go throughout my day. I'm gonna check back in with you after a few hours and just kind of show you how the makeup's gonna wear. So right now it is 11:08. I'll check back in with you in a couple hours to see how the makeup's holding up. Hey everyone, so I'm checking in a lot earlier than I thought I would. It is 11:35 right now, so it's not even like 30 minutes since I stopped filming, but I just need to show you this eyeliner situation because it's flaking off. What the heck? Can you see that? It's kind of like bizarre. I haven't been rubbing my eyes or anything. It's just randomly flaking off. So I definitely spoke too soon about the liner, even though I loved how it applied and how it looked right after application. If it can't last like 40 minutes, then not a good look. Hey y'all, so it is now 4:07 p.m. so it's about 5 whole hours since I have finished putting on my makeup, and I gotta say, stuff is still hanging in there. So as far as the foundation, I feel like the coverage has kept to the same level as when I first put it on. It is still medium coverage. I don't see any blemishes or discoloration coming through more than it already was. I do feel a little bit shiny in my T-zone, just right here in the middle of my forehead and then down either side of my nose. It's not a shininess that I feel overwhelmed, like I need to blot it. Pretty much just preference, so it's just a nice natural dewiness. If you do like more of a satin look, you might want to powder down right after you put it on or just throughout the day. I have to say I'm very, very impressed with how the contour, blush, and highlight are hanging in there. It's not being swallowed by my foundation, it's not being rubbed off. I've been working at the computer and I do have a tendency to kind of lean on my hand, and it doesn't feel like it's rubbed off all that much. I'm also like feeling the contour a little bit more throughout the day, and it could be because it's kind of settling more so into the foundation, and I think that blush brush actually did help blend it out a little bit more. I think that the reason for the patchiness was mostly the brush's fault, so maybe that brush is just kind of an outlier in the set because the other ones were pretty good. But other than that, I think it's actually looking pretty nice and blended. Eyeshadow still looks great, no fading, but the eyeliner is just killing me. So we still have like patchiness and flakiness from the eyeliner, and I'm finding black specks all over my face and even all over my shadow. So that's annoying. The brows still look fine, again, even though I'm a little bit oily right here. Everything else is looking fine. So honestly, the only like downsides I've found to this haul so far are the liner, the mascara is still kind of a dud, and then of course the lipstick, which we took off right away. So I'm gonna check in one more time before the end of the day, maybe in a couple hours before dinner. But so far, most of the makeup that we picked up on Shop Miss A performs pretty well. Alright guys, so it is 9:54, almost 10 hours since I've put on the makeup basically, and again, most of my face looks pretty okay. At this point now, the blush is almost completely worn off. We're left with most of the contour though. It's a little bit patchy at this point, but you know, it's been 10 hours. I'm not that like concerned about that. The actual coverage of the foundation held up pretty well. Even at 10 hours, I'm not seeing a ton of my discoloration come through. I have a lot, you know, in these areas. On my forehead, you see a little bit right here, but with the medium coverage, it's really not that bad. The main concern is definitely around my eyes. We do see that flaking, which is from the eyeliner. And other than that, like the eyeshadow would look really good at this point if it weren't for that flaking. It's just that that's kind of getting all over the place. So for the most part, a lot of this makeup did hold up very well. There are definitely some things that we could have skipped to kind of elevate this look a little bit more, but I would say that we've definitely discovered some favorites here for $1. I'm really excited about that. Out of all the products, I think I would for sure buy the foundation again, the highlighter again, the eyeshadow, and even the brows. They're a little bit worn on the bottom here. As you can see, they're not as defined as before. This one's actually doing a little bit better than my right one, but still, you have a lot of color there. So a lot of these products held up more than I thought a $1 product would. Overall, I'm pretty happy with shopmissa.com. I think that you can find a lot of great stuff if you're on a budget, and you just kind of have to, you know, find what's right for you, read reviews, definitely take my opinion for what it's worth. But I think we found some new favorites here today. So that was my wear test for the $1 makeup from shopmissa.com. I will leave all the links to the products and specific shade information down in the description below if you're interested, because like I said, the foundation shade actually matched me almost exactly, so that was just luck. And the brow shade as well really matched the tone of my hair. Overall, I'm much happier with how this turned out versus my dollar store makeup challenge look. I'm much more inclined to actually recreate this look and go out and wear it. And for me, this does kind of solidify Shop Miss A as like a legit place to buy makeup that will work. It's trial and error, so I would suggest reading the reviews that they have directly on the website. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, become a member of the Slash Squad. Have you tried anything from shopmissa.com? I'm very interested to see which products work for you and which ones we should avoid next time in the comments below. If you like these try on haul and wear test videos, hit the thumbs up and let me know what products you want me to try in the comments. I make new videos every Saturday, sometimes in the middle of the week, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!